Dear Daily News Report viewers, after watching this video, you can find previous videos by clicking on the top right button. We recommend watching, subscribing, and sharing. Thanks in advance. 50 things you should get immediately to prepare for the chaotic events of the next 12 months. People have been asking me to make such a podcast for a while. Over the months I recorded, I've not seen many of my listeners so concerned about our near future. Over and over again, I receive messages from people who seek advice on how to prepare for the leaders, and many use the word urgency to describe how they feel. And I can definitely identify with that, because in the middle of the last year, this is a word I started using constantly. I felt urgency about 2020 that I had never felt about the next 2020. And there were some things I knew I had to do. I would like to warn you in advance that the list below is not exhaustive. Instead, it is intended to be a very basic starting guide. There are many things that can be added, and probably should be, to this list, and I encourage listeners to leave comments with their own suggestions after this podcast. We must always be willing to learn from each other, because nobody is an expert in everything. In my opinion, the 4 priorities to prepare for the emergency scenario are food, water, energy, and shelter. After addressing these 4 key areas, you can definitely build this foundation by addressing other issues. I use the phrase next 12 months in the title of this podcast, but that does not mean that everything will be fine after 12 months have passed. In fact, I believe that our problems will only intensify as time goes on. And I hope you will not need everything on this list for the next 12 months. Hopefully, you don't need to use some of these items for several years. But this is definitely a great opportunity to buy most of these things, because many will only become more expensive and more difficult to achieve. By combining this list, I was designing a scenario where many of you would be accommodating at home, rather than sorting out an alternative. In the debugging scenario, this list will look slightly different. Also, I did not mention self-defense in this list, but it is undoubtedly very important. In fact, if you live in or near a large city, it is imperative to have a plan to defend yourself and your family. For years, I've been encouraging listeners to move away from the big cities, but for many people who are not possible at the moment. More than 51 million Americans have made new claims for unemployment this year, and so having a good stable job right now is extremely valuable. If your job keeps you in a potentially hazardous area, you also want to make a plan to weed out if needed. While all this is said, the following are the 50 things I encourage everyone to stock up to prepare for the coming chaotic times. First, a generator. Second, a Baku water filter. Number 3, a rainwater collection system if you do not have a natural supply of water near your home. Number 4, an emergency medical kit. Number 5, rice. Number 6, pasta. Number 7, canned soup. Number 8, canned vegetables. 9, canned fruit. 10, canned chicken. 11, jars of peanut butter. 12, salt. 13, sugar. 14, powdered milk. 15, bags of flour. 16, yeast. 17, lots of extra coffee if you drink it. 18, buckets of long-term storable food. 19, extra vitamins. 20, lighters or matches. 21, candles. 22, flashlights or lanterns. 23, plenty of wood to burn. 24. Extra blankets. 25. Extra sleeping bags. 26. A sun oven. 27. An extra fan if you live in a hot climate. 28. Hand sanitizer. 29. Toilet paper. 30. Extra soap and shampoo. 31. Extra toothpaste. 32. Extra erasers. 33. Bottles of bleach. 34. A battery-powered radio. 35. Extra batteries. 36. Solar chargers. 37. Trash bags. 38. Tarps. 39. A pocket knife. 40. A hammer. 41. An axe. 42. A shovel. 43. Work gloves. 44. N95 masks. 45. Seeds for a garden. 46. Canning jars. 47. Extra supplies for your pets. 48. An emergency supply of cash. 49. Bibles for every member of your family. 50. A bug-out bag for every member of your family. Are there some important items to add to this list? If so, please feel free to comment with your thoughts below. I understand that there are a lot of people who feel extreme financial stress during this serious economic crisis, and it may not be possible to get all the items on this list. And that's good. Our job is to do our best, and we will trust God with the rest. I know that many people don't like it when I write such negative podcasts, but if I had not warned people about things to come, I wouldn't have fulfilled my duty. And I actually believe podcasts like this give people a lot of hope. There is hope to understand what is coming, hope to prepare, and hope to connect with others who have prepared it. Just as we have witnessed in the early stages of this COVID-19 outbreak, there will be people who will be afraid when things really go crazy. People who do not understand what happened and did not make any previous preparation. Millions of Americans will not be able to cope with future times. But we are getting ready because we believe that with the help of God, we can go through all the future storms. If you want to make fun of us as we are preparatory, please feel free to do so. But one day you must be ready to apologize if you have to return to one of us for help. Now, we stand on the precipice of another major global financial crisis. Economic conditions in America are going to become significantly worse. The politicians in Washington, D.C. may make sure that the boys and girls on Wall Street are always taken care of, but there will be no bailouts for the large numbers of Americans that are about to lose their jobs and their homes. If you want an idea of what is coming, just look at what is happening now. Almost 100,000 businesses have shut down. 1/3 of all money has been pulled out of US bank accounts, and unemployment and poverty are absolutely rampant. For years, a lot of prominent voices out there were screaming and yelling about the dangers posed by our soaring trade deficits and our soaring budget deficits. But the American people did not listen. They just kept sending the same politicians back to Washington, D.C. over and over. As a result, soon millions of those same Americans will find themselves doing things that they never dreamed that they would do just to survive. Dear Daily News Report viewers, you can find other videos by clicking on the top right button. We recommend watching, subscribing, and sharing. Thanks in advance. Most of the idea, comment, information, and criticism containing in these videos have been created by Daily News Report. Before making any important investment decision, use the information contained in these videos as a starting point for conducting your own research. If you make any investment or legal decision, it is advised to consult an expert
before making this decision.